Good afternoon, everyone. It's James Carpenter with Country Living. We're going to do a little video on a raised garden bed using an IPC tote. Now this is footage from the other video I put out. I did make one of these and put it in video format, but I never really had a chance to put the soil in there and all that, so I decided I would take another look at all this, and I'll show you what it looks like as a finished product. Okay, what I'm doing here, obviously, when that gas gauge gets near empty, it's time to fill up. So that 55-gallon plastic drum there has an electric pump on it, and there's a battery set in there. I hook the battery up, and then when I'm ready to pump, I turn the switch on that pump, and then I use this flashlight to keep an eye on the level of the fuel as it fills up, because when it fills up real fast, it will splash out all over your hood. And I've just learned that if I watch it real close, I can just shut it off and fill it clear up. We didn't get one single drip on the paint, which is good. There's the battery. You can see how that apparatus is set up. It's actually pretty cool, and it pumps really fast. Just roll it away when you're done. Now this is some of those arborist wood chips. You guys are real familiar on my channel seeing a lot of those. I actually got 3 loads this week, which was phenomenal because I needed every single one of them. I used them up as they were brought in. Now what we're doing here is we're taking some of this mulch. Now where I'm turning left right here, this area was mulched 3 years ago, and it's composted down. Now I cannot take my tractor to that mulch pile back there and get the mulch for my raised garden beds. So what I'm doing is I'm adding mulch on top and making myself like a little driveway, so that the tractor doesn't sink in and get stuck in the compost. That's the shop there. That's headed towards the back of the shop. There's a big gate, big fenced in area in the back. We'll get us another scoop. It was literally raining on me the whole time I was doing this, but I was determined that I was going to get it done. So that fuzzy spot you see up in the corner, those are raindrops. Okay, should I work in the rain? Probably not. Normal people wouldn't, but if I got a job to do, I just do it and get it done, regardless. If it was pouring down rain, obviously I wouldn't be there. Here's the mulch going into those raised garden beds. Obviously the bucket's bigger than the container, but it's all mulch, so it doesn't matter. What we're going to do now is we're going to put the forks on. We're going to go around here and pick them up, and we're going to transport them to another location, which will be their somewhat summer permanent location. Once the season's over with, I can pick them back up, move them in the back somewhere, out of sight, out of mind, and then start moving my crates of wood up there. I got IPC totes full of wood. You can see them in the background in front of that trailer. That's wood. I don't think it's going to be ready for next season. I'm not going to chance it because there's a variety of wood in there, and I don't want to have some kind of hardwood that's not going to dry or something along those lines. Alright, just a little bit of a steep hill. You can't tell it in the video, but that mound of mulch is probably about 3 feet deep. I mulched that area up there by the side of the building a day or two ago. That blue thing on the right with AIS on it, that's actually a concrete tile. Now when I put my well in years ago, back in about 1980 or so, it was, I used to joke about it, I said it was out in the country. Well, it was no longer country. Everything grew, another building was built and all kinds of stuff. Now all of a sudden my well is right in the middle of things. See it right there? Boom. So to keep people from backing into it, I got that scrap tile, didn't pay anything for it. A friend of mine had a skid loader. He picked it up and set it down over top of the well for me. It's been there for a lot of years. I actually added some gravel inside of it and up against it just in case somebody hit it hard enough they couldn't move it. But it's been hit 2 or 3 times, which obviously would have been my well. So it looks like I'm grabbing that second basket. And I'm going to be honest with you, you probably noticed when I was dumping that mulch that there was water in there from the rain we got last night. These are actually pretty heavy. If you think about it, that's probably the equivalent of a whole bucket load of that stuff. Plus it's got the water in there, which is probably considerably heavier than the mulch. And then we're going to set it down. So now we got 3 of these. Now the sky is the limit. You know, do I want to make 2 more, or you know, how big does the garden need to be? We've also got other areas where we can grow things. You see the little pine tree starts over there on the right. And speaking of pine trees, right here on the left you're going to see 3 buckets. I think you are. 3 buckets, and each bucket has 10 blue spruce pine trees in there. They're 4-year-old trees. There they are. I'm going to be planting those around the property somewhere. Every pine tree on my property I planted. Now over here on the right, you're not supposed to be seeing that because that's a future video, but it's taken me some time to get it together. But we'll call that just a little teaser. But there is going to be a complete video on that. Now that old farmhouse is where my parents used to live. When they passed, I bought the estate, and I wanted to be able to have control over my neighbors, and since I own it now, I'm the new neighbor. So I kind of kept it in the family sort of thing. But I appreciate you taking time to watch my videos. Let's hit that remote. Let's put the tractor away. Let's call it. No, we're not going to call it a day, because now we're going to go in and edit the video, which you're watching right now. Thank you, and have a great weekend.